Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, emotional health paradigm. We try to do that as often as we can. We try to do that for your listening pleasure multiple times per week. We've got over 950 of these available, and we're going to continue to add, hopefully get to 1,000 at the beginning of the new year, or not the new year, but the new month, as we go into the month of October. Can't believe we're already close to the end of 2021. Wow. Time seems to be going by in interesting increments these days. Anyway, we will continue to move forward. Just proper self-care techniques here is our main focus. If you're looking for life, relationship, business coaching, would love to be of assistance to you in that way. We can do that in a couple of ways. First is try to avoid ignoring yourself. But if you do need coaching, would love to be of assistance to you. And in doing that, we can connect through Twitter at PO Perception or in the About Me section of the YouTube page. Either way, we'll get you in touch with me or a member of my team, and we can move from there. But just healthy self habits. Don't ignore yourself. So if you're exhausted, then take time for self care. If you are, stressed, then take time for relaxation. Releasing control is also necessary. So the only thing we can truly control in any part of life is our reaction to circumstances. We cannot control what another person thinks. We cannot control what another person does. We cannot control what another person believes or doesn't believe. We cannot control how other people behave. The more we try to control what other people do, think, feel, or behave, the more frustrated we get, both in the long and short run. It's not going to be productive to do this. It's not going to be useful to do this. It's not even going to be helpful on any level to try to have that level of control. But when we release control, we begin to understand that life is just a series of choices, challenges, and such. And then we can make the best choices with the information we have and kind of release when people or situations annoy us, frustrate us, or uh, make us feel bad about kind of moving forward. Um, but then uh, kind of getting to a deeper level. So the next thing is the need for approval. Release the need for approval. I talk about and work with people on 3 tribes all the time. There are 3 tribes in humanity. The first is the tribe that will never like you no matter what you do. The second is the tribe that can be converted based on how you behave and how you treat them. The third tribe, oh, you're ride or die. These are the individuals that'll be there no matter what you do. But a lot of people spend time and waste time around the idea of, being there for a for the people who they're never going to convert, and then they get exhausted. Not learning from your mistakes, but also just not being a student of life, not looking at life as a choose your own adventure game. The ability to, um, connect on a level of intellect, but also emotional value and spiritual value, and to be able to connect in that deeper way is one of the most valuable things we can do. Finding ways to choose not to relate with others or lead ourselves to social isolation can be another problem. Social isolation is a problem for a number of reasons, not limited to the fact that at the end of the day, when we socially isolate, it often becomes because we feel as though we don't fit in with the rest of the world. But if we're not nurturing relationships, then we're going to feel more and more socially isolated and kind of more towards the negative without even necessarily meaning to be, or without having to be in that ultimate self-prescription. So it can be super valuable to try to find ways to connect on a deeper level with the value of relationships that we have, based on just understanding that we're not meant to be alone. We're not meant to be so negatively motivated. So Overly negative people and overthinkers need to get rid of those two things too. Look, finding a place to come back to a level of neutrality can be super valuable. Neutrality is wonderful because it doesn't lead us to be overly negative, it doesn't lead us to be overly positive. It allows us to reset how we think, feel, and behave. And then the process of overthinking becomes less because when we come back to the understanding of kind of the reset mentality or the reset principles, we can then begin to understand the value to connecting on a more meaningful, deeper, and more powerful level to be able to reach our goals both personally, professionally, emotionally. When we overthink, we burn out and we don't have energy for self-care. Living in the real world, that is not the fantasy world of believing that everything's going to go perfectly, but also understanding that sometimes we can alter and come from behind. So the real world means that all things are possible, whereas it's not just one size fits all as far as possibility is concerned. The next or the last thing in this is ignore perfection. So, perfection doesn't exist because it's all illusionary. That is to say, that what's perfect to one person could be completely imperfect or negative for another. What's good for one person can be lost to another. And so, when we begin to understand the value of reaching out from a level of letting go of the idea of perfection, we actually improve our quality of life. So, hopefully, this is helpful. Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.